Welcome to Revolutionary Motion, where we show you tennis from a different perspective. Today we're going to talk about the perfect backswing for your forehand. So now first of all, let's identify what the perfect backswing is. And to answer that question, we have to take a look at what type of ball you're trying to hit. So for example, if we are trying to hit a heavy topspin ball, we need to make sure that obviously the racket head gets under the ball before we start swinging, so we can move up on the ball in the process and create that topspin that we're looking for. So now if we have a ball that's, at a regular height, let's say somewhere over here, we need to make sure that our arm kind of stays on the lower end and our wrist lets the racket drop quite a lot so we can actually swing up. Now if we're taking a look at the same type of contact point where the ball is not too high, not too low, but now we're trying to hit the ball a lot more flat, we still will have the arm kind of on the lower end of things on our backswing, but now we won't drop our racket as much because we're trying to hit straight forward. We're not trying to create as much topspin, which obviously takes away power and makes the ball less flat. So we need to make sure that our wrist keeps the racket kind of behind the ball and not below the ball on the backswing. So we're always moving straight forward first of all and just very little up into the shot. Now if we have a higher contact point, for example, let's say somewhere up here above shoulder level, we have to again think about, do we try to accelerate this ball and hit it more flat, or are we trying to hit a lot of topspin? Now one thing to keep in mind here is, with this high contact point that's above shoulder level, our upper arm cannot stay as low on the backswing, because now we won't have enough force moving up and forward through the ball, and we're not going to create a lot of power, but only a little bit of spin. So the higher the contact point, the higher the upper arm has to be on the backswing, because we're trying to create enough force to get the ball over the net with a decent amount of power, in addition to the amount of spin that we're trying to create. So now higher takeback on the upper arm, but the wrist still drops under the ball because we're trying to create that topspin, and then we swing up on the ball. Now if we're trying to hit that ball flat, same thing applies with the upper arm. Higher contact point means higher upper arm, but now we don't drop the racket all the way under the ball, but we keep it kind of more behind the ball, right? The closer we are to the net, the more it's even going to stay above the ball because we're trying to slightly hit downward. And then it's very important that from there, most of our motion moves straight forward through the ball, so we keep that shot as flat as we want. Now if we have a very, very low contact point on the other hand, obviously now our arm cannot stay up here because we will never get the racket to drop under the ball or even behind the ball. So we need a lower upper arm so we can actually accelerate from behind the ball and hit that ball with topspin or flat depending on what we're trying to do. Now, one thing to keep in mind, you have to make sure that your racket head starts in the right position, in the right proportion to the contact point in order to create the shot that you're looking for. Many people on a high ball that want to hit it flat and hard, they tend to drop the racket head below the ball. Now the problem with that is you are forced to move up, so that means now you're going to lift the ball slightly. So then people tend to overhit the ball and hit it out because their racket head dropped under the contact point, under the intended contact point, before they started swinging forward. So if you're trying to hit a ball that goes straight forward, your racket head has to stay right behind the ball so you can move straight towards the contact point. As soon as you drop it below that, your ball is not going to travel flat, it's going to go upwards slightly and develop topspin. So make sure that on your backswing, you adjust the height of your upper arm depending on the contact point that you're trying to reach, and then you adjust the drop of your racket or your wrist according to how much topspin or how flat you want to hit the ball. The higher the racket stays in comparison to the contact point, the more flat you're going to hit, and the more you're going to hit the ball forward, or if you're starting even higher, the more you're going to hit it down. This applies mostly to approach shots. The more the racket drops under the ball, the more topspin you'll be able to create. The lower your arm stays, the more topspin you'll be able to create as well, but now you have the issue that you won't have as much power forward because the lower the racket is, the more it has to travel up, so a lot of the energy you can create goes into topspin and not into forward force on your shots. So keep those two things in mind, and it will be very easy for you to adjust how much power or spin you want to give it with a perfect backswing on every single forehand.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon.